I ran up a check, I might do it again. Enemies close, had me thinking they're friends. 10 toes down, I'll be free until the end. Crib outside the city, I don't feel safe in my hands. Took so many years, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, there's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me.
You are Zolin. I am Brent Daniels, Mr. TTP,
That's
and
what I am.
always right there, Albert Bowie. Albert Bowie, what's up, man?
Nothing much. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be back in my seat over here.
Yep.
Good looking at you.
Now, just ask. Let's open this up because I think you asked a question and we were going through it, and I really want to open it up with this before we get into digital real estate, before we get into the future of real estate, which is these smart contracts, which is these title companies that are nationwide that we can build relationships with and really do creative deals with, which is very, very, very exciting. But you asked a very important question that I think is on a lot of people's minds. So why don't we open up with that?
So the question that I had before pre-show for everyone out there is, there's always talk of this recession. There's talk that, the economy is going to tank, from all these so-called experts that say it. So I asked the question, if there is a recession here, what's the pivot, real estate related?
I love it. So here's the deal. And this is just coming from experience from being in it 2004, seeing that ramp up, then the 2008, seeing the boom, the bomb get dropped, everything keep creeping. The first thing that comes to mind is people have been saying this since 2012. It's going to be a recession. There's going to be a recession. There's going to be a recession. There's going to be a recession. That's fine. Totally understand that. What we're talking about here is in real estate, finding discounted properties. How is that going to affect us? Without a doubt, if you are in a smaller market, you need to start getting deeper discounts. You need to start this is the time to really start building the relationships with your cash buyers. This is not saying that you become a cash buyer employee and you sell everything to the same ones, right? And restrict how much you can make on these deals. You can still get massive, massive deals. I get texts every day from students around the country. We're doing big deals. You're doing big deals. I mean, big deals are happening all the time, but you need to have these conversations with your cash buyers to see how they're pivoting. Right? Everything that we do in wholesaling, when we're assigning it to somebody else, comes from our cash buyers. Right. What are they looking to do? How are they financing this? Are the ones that are really well established going to be the ones that really just keep carrying forward and some of their mom and pops start falling off? It could be. It could be, but I think it's going to be a while. And the thing that I look at, Matt, if you don't mind, it was a picture that I sent you about the foreclosure data. Right? Can you pop that up? And this is what we look at, guys. This is what's really important in our industry. It's not interest rates. Interest rates do not affect the amount of sales. It's foreclosures. It's the people that can no longer afford to pay the mortgage that they have. And check this out right here. Look at that. Go ahead.
Damn.
No. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like people are like, we have to pivot. The whole world's melting and all this and that. Look at this.
78,000.
Right? This is Adam Data. Like Adam Data is like the bomb. Adam Data provides incredible data. Look at it. 2.9 million at the height of it. Right. 2.9 million properties in foreclosure. Yep. Right? We're at 78,000. And they say it's going to creep up. Pace mentioned on Monday that it was 760,000. I'm not sure where you got it, the data, but it could be. I mean, that could be Q2, what it's looking like. If it's a big jump like that, I'd be surprised, but we'll see. We'll see. And that's what you want to keep your eye on. What is going on with foreclosures? That's it. That's it. Because everything else, everybody's lending. Mm-hmm. All the hard money guys that I know are still texting me to this day that say, hey, do you want to, we're raising more funds because we need more money, right? That's another indication. The hard money lenders are still building more of their capital so that they can go out and send it out. So real quick, just so everybody knows, hard money lenders, and it's a great business, and we should get into it at some time. But being a hard money lender is you go out and you go, hey, listen, Mrs. Wealthy person, I'm going to give you 7-8% interest on your money. I'm going to lend it out at 10-12%. I'm going to make the difference, and I'm going to make some origination fees. That's hard money. That's all it is, right? And they're constantly reaching out, trying to get more money, which means they need it. It's not like people are pulling out of that business. People are putting into that business. So that's me on a soapbox. Let's go to you.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's talk about some
this is a mystery to me. Digital real estate, NFTs, what's going on with the blockchain, how it's going to affect our industry. So let's first start with the stuff that's going to impact us the quickest. Smart contracts, title companies. What do you know?
So I think that title companies, honestly, they better watch out. I think that they're going to see the closing costs, you're going to see the title fees, you're going to see the delays in process of having to get the funding, get all the loan docs ready, get it released, get it recorded by the county, where that could be a 45-minute on the quick side to a 3 to 4 hour process, if not the next day on the long side. It's going to be within seconds on the blockchain.
Yeah.
So I think smart contracts within title companies are going to be the way of the future. I think NFTs with utility, I think that's what you're starting to see already.
What do you mean with utility? I have no idea what that means.
So NFTs with utility means that they have function behind them. So it means that there's actual ability where you could utilize that NFT and its backing to be able to go to events. So this last weekend, the reason I wasn't on the show last week was that I was over at Gary Vee's conference where I bought one of his NFTs, and one of the utilities is for the next 3 years, I get access to his conference.
Got it.
So I think within real estate, you're going to see like how I implemented with my coaching program. People that have NFTs get access to the coaching calls.
Got it.
So it's the difference between a product and then a
what about it outside of coaching?
Sure.
Do you see it in regular? We're going out there. We're talking to ugly houses.
Yes.
Right. We're talking to not ugly houses, but the owners of ugly houses. And how does that affect us? How does technology? Because I was around, believe it or not, Ryan, before Zillow.
Whoa.
Zillow came out and everybody's like, this will never work. This is so silly. There's no way that they can estimate and put an algorithm. This is such a refined process for comping. This is such a refined process for evaluating properties. Everybody was hoity-toity, old school. I don't want to be like this in the wave of what's going on. So educate us.
So I think that, for example, let's name two people. Kong and Ryan Pineda are actually doing this, I think separately, but it's the same concept.
Okay.
Everyone that has the NFT gets access to go and visit the house that the company owns.
Okay.
So if Ryan Pineda buys a property, and then everyone that has the NFT gets ownership in it, almost like equity, and they sell it, whatever your percentage is, you're going to get paid out.
Like a timeshare?
Almost, yeah.
Like a source. Yeah, it's like crowdfunding. That's great.
I think that is one of the most amazing opportunities.
Okay.
And now imagine you buy 10
that with art.
Yes.
They do that with fine art, by the way. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
So I think that is a huge plus to where you're going to see that implemented. I mean, those two guys are pretty big name guys in the industry, and they're already implementing that.
Yeah.
And then obviously the NFT side of utility could be access to specific programs, specific events like the Gary Vee conference. It could be, I don't know, like here, if you have an NFT, you get first dibs on this opportunity that's going to pop up before everybody else.
Yeah.
So that's where I think the utility side of NFT makes sense. Aside from that, a lot of people are very big into the art side of it. They like the who it's backed by and that they're supporting them. But I think the utility is where the serious future and value is of the NFTs.
It's interesting from that perspective of raising funds.
Yes.
You know, raising funds, buying into an NFT, which is essentially a property. I would assume that the property probably would have to be purchased with cash.
Correct.
For it to make sense.
Correct.
Because a bank's not going to
lend to
buy into an NFT at this point.
Right.
They might.
I think you're going to see that in the next 5 to 10 years. We had a conversation in the office yesterday where people were asking me, like, are we really going to see like the true function of all of this in our lifetime?
Yeah.
I think that when we're talking where you're going to have conversations with grandkids where one day they're like, used to use cash. I think that's not going to be our lifetime. But I think what you're seeing with NFTs and the hype behind it, I think in the next 5 to 10 years, especially with the stuff that just happened in the pandemic, people aren't scared to make change because they know that things are willing to pivot at any given moment.
Love it.
So I think NFTs are definitely here to stay. I think title companies are probably one of the next to go. But I think it's going to be a close tie between title companies and smart contracts. So.
Well, I think the title companies have all the money in the world, and they'll probably find some way to pivot into it
They should.
Yeah,
should.
for sure.
Yeah.
Interesting. What about like digital real estate? When I remember when Zuckerberg came out and he has this like weird, goofy, like 25-minute video of what Meta is going to be in the metaverse and all these things, and then all of a sudden everybody's like, "Oh, I just bought." Somewhere in downtown Manhattan on this like
on Sandbox or whatever,
whatever platform it is for like $1 million, and then everybody's like, "What is going on here?"
Yep.
Like you own digital real estate on like why would you buy something that already exists? Like let me buy land on like some made up world. Right. You know what I mean? I don't know, but I mean, so what do you know about that?
So let me ask you this then: if you had the ability to go back in time and you saw the Strip of Las Vegas that sold for $3 million before it was the Strip, you would have been all over that.
Yeah, but that's something tangible.
Sure.
Like, why couldn't I can't just go and make a new Las Vegas Strip anywhere that I wanted by just code.
So that's where the specific backing of which, so for example, I'm only really familiar with Sandbox, but there's like 5 or 6 other metaverses where people can go in and buy the land. Right. So it all depends on which one you're going into, but there's specific areas that are obviously booming, and what they have behind that is actual utility inside those metaverses. Yeah. So people are buying and they're building fake buildings, and they have actual people that are behind other screens in their own house that are card dealers, that are vendors, that are doing all this stuff digitally, where you're providing actual revenue.
Yeah, I get it.
So that's not it. They're not like putting $1 million and saying, I hope this works. Right. They're putting millions of dollars and then they're cash flowing. Right. So a lot of times these properties are actually bringing in more money than a rental property, and it's appreciating an asset.
Because people are on digital and their avatar is going into somewhere, and then they exchange some sort of token, which is money or something, for whatever, to play a game, to buy clothes, to buy a, whatever.
Think of it like
accessories,
like a video game. And I think that's where video games were so amazing at like implementing this. Fortnite, for example, you pay extra money with your V-Bucks, you get new skins, you get new things unlocked. It's the same concept in the metaverse. Right. People care about social flexibility and currency more than they care about the actual tangibility of, can I wear this shirt? Right. What do I have online? Right. That's what people care about.
And people are building out different worlds.
Yes.
And different platforms.
Correct.
And it just depends on where the attention goes to all the people that are on. Do you play games? I don't even know. Do you guys play games?
He doesn't. I do. Yeah.
How do you fit that into your life?
It's like last thing in my day.
Like that's your unwind.
Yeah.
Right? Unwind. Instead of Netflix, you're playing. What do you play?
Madden.
Okay.
Yeah. It's usually my.
Got it. Yeah. So you think that at some point people will sell like the stadiums that they play Madden games in?
Absolutely. I think that
something like that.
You're going to see people putting on VR helmets that are not even athletes, that are playing in a virtual world where it's going to be sponsored by esports. And for example, Gary Vee has Minnesota Rocker, which is one of the esport teams. Yeah. You're going to have a Minnesota Rocker football team where people put on their VR and they're going to be playing video games and they're considered athletes. That's going to be in the next 7 years, I guarantee. 5 to 7 years.
Well, I guess. I mean, listen, it's all in the brain. I mean, it's all entertainment. It's all where people put their attention. That's the important thing to understand here. I don't think it's like it's not in my life. Maybe it will in the future. I don't know. I got kids. I got all sorts of crazy stuff going on. I got businesses. I got but. Maybe it is. Maybe that's the future. Maybe the future is wearing those goggles and doing the thing and going in and suspending reality for a while. And I get it. People are able to buy sections of the game themselves and then build things and get some sort of currency. And I'm sure whoever created the platform is getting a little bit of the getting a little bit of the in between, right?
Of course.
Yep. Got it.
It's
interesting.
Insane. Very insane.
Interesting. We just wanted to touch on it, guys. This is Millionaire Before 30. We're talking about all future things coming up. Obviously, in real life, we go out and get real deals on real streets, but and real land. But who knows? I mean, I think that it's very, very interesting. And if anybody has experience in this, let us know. If anybody's invested in any of this, let us know. And I know that it's new, and a lot of what is being talked about is saying, hey, listen, 99% of all these things are going to go to zero.
Yes.
But the 1% of the things are going to be big, and it's going to be like buying Apple stock, in the early 80s or whatever. You know what I mean? Yep. So really, really interesting. But this is a participation show, guys. We're here to answer your questions, whatever they are, whether they be business questions, whether they be real estate investing questions, whether they be digital questions, NFT questions, whether it be wholesaling questions. We want to know. This is a participation show. Also, this is a celebration show a celebration of your success. We ring that victory bell that's hanging right there, and you can see the string actually right there. and we want to celebrate you. So any successes that you had, if you talk to a person for the first time, we had a really good conversation yesterday about stacking the small wins.
Yes.
Right? Getting up with some energy and going out and walking down the street and finding an ugly house and writing down the address, that's a win.
Yep.
You know, going up to a door and knocking on the door, that's a win. Getting in your car, driving for dollars, that's a win. Listening to podcasts when you're in the car by yourself and not just, radio or not just something crazy, is a win. Like really building up as an entrepreneur, all these little steps are the wins. You stack enough small wins, and that's how you get to the big wins. It's not all about when the income comes in. It takes a lot of small steps, a lot of small wins before you can do that.
Absolutely.
So can we adjust this camera a little bit? I feel like I'm like off a little bit, like it's, you know what I mean? Like a little bit.
I'm not that big. So.
Yeah, and I feel like, you shouldn't be that far away. Maybe just a skosh, just a little bit. There we go. Yeah, just a smidge. There we go. So anyway, let's crack this thing open. Albert, real quick, any thoughts?
Oh, yeah.
You're shaking your head when Ryan's talking. You have no idea.
I don't believe in this like virtual. Like it just sounds weird to me. Being that it is my generation that's kind of adopting it, but I just enjoy real things and real interaction. I understand it, but then I think on the logistics sides of it, like, did you know? So it's Ethereum, right? The cryptocurrency behind it, right?
Yeah.
To mine one Ethereum, the power that it takes to do that can power a normal house for 5 days.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about everything happening virtually. I think, is that sustainable? Who's going to manage the power and the resources to keep a virtual world going?
Yeah.
But then the real world doesn't disappear. So I'm thinking, where is this going to go? So I'm thinking, like, what is it long term? I just don't see it.
It's called science,
hard.
Albert, okay? Science is going to figure this out. You know, we're humans.
so.
We've dropped stuff on Mars. You know what I mean? They'll figure out some battery.
I guess so.
I saw this YouTube video of a diamond battery that lasts 10,000 years. Like, it's this crazy thing. Who knows? I don't know.
So they do the mining in, like, a lot of them are in Alaska. They have to do it where obviously it's cold enough.
It's cold.
For the,
I'm just like, that's a lot of money.
Now real estate companies where you can
there's real estate companies.
Yeah.
Bitcoin.
Yeah. Yeah, you can buy stuff with Bitcoin. I mean, there's value there.
And whether or not like people adjust to it, I think that it's just something like, and I'm not obviously offering financial advice here. I think that it's just a matter of you have to understand it's the way of the future. So if you're not going to adapt, times are going to change. It's like, I remember back, this is like, I actually remember this, but people will be like, I'm not buying an iPhone.
Right.
Are you kidding me? I want my Razor. I like the,
Listen, I loved buttons.
yes,
Yeah.
I
trust
loved
me,
it.
I get it. And that's the part where
That BlackBerry was bomb, dude. I had a BlackBerry Pearl. That thing was this. Ooh.
Dude, I love
You were
Flex.
balling.
Smooth.
I had
Smoking.
that like slide up one where I memorized
Yeah.
the keyboard, tap 3 times type thing.
Oh, here we
So-
go. Repurpose you. Here we. I love. You know what? I don't know where everybody's getting these backgrounds and the cool look, but man, people are looking cool with the thumbnails, man.
Slide.
I'm 100% with Albert. This metaverse stuff is ridiculous. People need to go outside more and garden or something. LOL. I agree. Like nothing makes me happier than going into my cabin and just like looking at the mountain and walking around in the forest and stuff. It's just amazing. Like everything, like nature is dope. Like it's incredible. But I'll tell you what, some of these games, they make nature, they
it's
make
cool.
it look pretty cool.
They make-
That's how I felt when I went to Yellowstone. I was like, what is
Uh-huh.
this life? I was like,
Yeah.
Like it's cool
Yeah.
to play, but I don't know about you, Brent. But the most satisfying thing sometimes when you meet someone new and like a good firm handshake. Like
Yeah.
I want to do that, not
Yeah.
push like A and B to like shake your hand virtually.
Yeah.
I want to feel that human interaction. you know?
Yeah. Virtually, you're like, that was a weak handshake.
Yeah, you like barely hit you hit the button wrong or something. It's like, kiss it. Yeah. Anyway,
I love it.
is that it?
That's all we got for
What are we
questions.
doing?
Call it
I
a
didn't
show.
know if you guys were still doing it.
It's here to stay.
Yeah.
It's here to stay.
Got a property locked up with title and escrow. Can't wait for closing. Ugly houses, big checks. Come on, Christopher. That's what we're
Yes.
talking. Hey, let us know what you're making on this thing. And listen, you got it locked up. It's in title and escrow. Now get it sold. You need to be absolutely relentless with going out there and finding that cash buyer and getting it sold. But let us know what you're going to sell it for. Yes. Awesome. Congratulations, Christopher. That is amazing. Brent, what is the most efficient way to pull lists and cash buyers from title companies, from Primal Eskimo? I do not trust title companies to give me any of that data. I don't. I ask them who their best buyers are, and I'll get it straight from the experience. But what title companies use is a company called Black Knight, and Black Knight is okay, but Black Knight is kind of basic. It's a free service that they'll pull some stuff. They'll give you some pre-foreclosures. They'll give you that's about it. I mean, maybe some pre-foreclosures. They're always coming up with like these new things that they're going to give you, and it's never worked out for us.
Right.
And then you have to skip trace it anyway. So I would highly suggest that you pull your own list. We have a ton of videos on here and in TTP Insider and what list to pull if you're going to pull from a prop stream, a batch leads. And I would pull from there. If not, if you want to keep your budget super low, Primal, drive for dollars, brother. Dealmachine.com. I mean, that's a no-brainer. They're pouring so much money into that app, it's bananas. I mean, no other driving for dollars apps even close to the amount of features that they have. And that's what I would build it off of. I wouldn't overthink this. I would go and I would drive for dollars and I would call them all until you get a deal. That's how I'd start. That's how I did start. That's how I did my first 20 deals. And it's just going and going and going and going. Trying to go to the title company and getting all their information, in my experience, has not been great. It's just not. You get what you pay for. You know what I mean?
That's true.
And the harder a list is to get, Primal, the better the list is. Right?
Amen.
And then start calling agents. Right?
I mean,
Yeah. What do? You just call off the MLS?
so we actually have a title company that pulls the production from the last year, and so they use.
Okay, now we're talking. Here you go, Primal.
So they are able to pull anything that we like to target, anything that any agents that have done more than $3 million in the last 12 months, because that shows that they're
In sales.
In sales.
Total sales, not income, guys.
Correct.
Listen, real estate agents talk about multi-million-dollar producer and all this. That means that the houses that they sold were worth that.
Correct.
So they could sell three $1 million houses and be like $3 million producer. What's up? That's not their income.
Yep. And then what we do is we like to target them because they're a little bit more active in the industry and they're obviously doing volume, which is what we're looking for. Now, with that said, I can make the same argument that you could target a brand new agent that's a little bit more ambitious and ready to like go out there and hustle.
Dude, you're
So-
pimping today.
Thank you, man. I appreciate
Listen, if you guys think his outfit's fire today, put a little fire emoji. Look at that. He's got his necklace out. He's got the ambitious. Look at you. I like it. I think you look great, man.
Duggan, thank you.
I love it.
So
So there you go.
Yeah.
So
that's what I do.
you pull it from them, you get $3 million, and then
Just call it. Yeah.
yeah, awesome. $5 million. There you go, Christopher.
5K.
Awesome.
5K.
$5K. I think in millions. I'm a big thinker. I don't know what to tell
I
you.
like it.
5,000. Congratulations, Christopher. That's awesome. What is the best way to cancel a contract, Louis? Well, a couple different things. I would love to find out a little bit more on why you need a cancel contract. I'll let you guys take it over, and then I'll respond. But
Yeah, I think that this is something that people really need to like be transparent about. Be honest with them. There shouldn't be like a lie and oh well, it was the condition of this or that. Yes, those are legalities that can get you out of the contract, but go to them and tell them that you messed up. Tell them why you locked it up too high. Oh, well, maybe it is the rehab. But being fully transparent and breaking that down to them is going to make you look like a better person and more likely salvage the relationship with the agent. So that's what I would recommend. Obviously, if you're direct to seller, that's more Brent's approach. So.
Yeah, if you're direct to seller, you just got to call them up and say, hey, listen, I looked at the numbers. I need to cancel the contract. Where can I send the cancellation? You want me to send it to your house or to your email? And then they're going to be pissed. And then they're going to hang up the phone. And then it's a 50-50 chance that they'll call you back and be like, well, what can you buy it for? Right? But if you go, listen, I can't do it for this, but I can do it for that and all this, then all of a sudden they're like, wait a second, I'm not going to negotiate with you. But if you're like, hey, I got to cancel, if you pull all the way out, then they might chase you back a little bit and come to a price that makes sense. Try to not cancel contracts.
Correct.
Try your absolute best. Right? and see if there's a right price. And the way that you know there's a right price is you've put it out to your buyers. Your buyers tell you, hey, listen, I can't buy it. I'm not interested in this. And you go, well, what price would you be? And then they give you a price so you know you can sell it to them, and then you negotiate. Don't go and get a price reduction if you don't already have the buyer lined up.
That's a huge
cancel
nugget.
it. Is
huge
just
nugget.
cancel it and get move on. And then, technically speaking, you send a notice to the title company or closing attorney, and then they handle it. Yeah.
From IG, Raymond Lopez. How much do I need to successfully start wholesaling? What resources do I need, and how much will it be?
Yep.
You could start for free. You could take all the information that is on, bless you. You could take all the information that is on Brent's channel and on our social media pages, and you could take action from there. Personally, I'd recommend a mixture of driving for dollars to get familiar with what ugly houses are, on top of cold calling real estate agents. And then obviously do the 75-day challenge.
Yeah. Yeah, 75-day challenge. We'll go over it in just a little bit, just to refresh everybody. But ugly houses. I would start out with ugly houses. I mean, some people go direct to agents. If you feel comfortable having conversations with people that know all the verbiage and they're really going to pick at you and really try to figure out and filter and pre-qualify you like agents are going to do, then go for it. If you feel confident in that, you're like, I don't care, go for it, you know? But if you feel like, you know what, let me start with the ugly houses, which is most people. Let me go talk to these property owners. Literally get dealmachine.com. Okay, I think it's $60, maybe a little bit more for their basic package with the TTP discount code. It's the biggest discount code you get with Deal Machine. Let's put that up, Matt. And drive for dollars, and then you take that, you export that list, and you go to batchskiptracing.com. Listen, I love Deal Machine. They don't have as good of skip tracing as Batch. They just don't. Like, Deal Machine spends millions on this app. Batch spends millions on their data. Like, millions. I'm not just, like, exaggerating. And then you get the phone numbers and you call them, Raymond. You go to TTB Insider. You get the cold calling script. You call them up. You ask them if they would consider an offer on the property. And that's how you start this process.
You got it.
And then, no matter what, you need to squad up with people doing this business. Because if you just go, I'm just starting and I'm a little timid and I'm going to just go and I'm going to try to get some momentum going before I start talking to people because I feel like an imposter, right? Imposter syndrome. I'm not really a wholesaler or investor yet. I'm just getting started. Stop it. Everybody started somewhere. You need to surround yourself with people doing this business or it's going to slip through your hands like sand. I'm telling you, you're going to be like, oh, what's that other thing going on? Oh, what's that crypto? Oh, what's that stock? Oh, what's that drop shipping? Oh, what's that? You know what I mean? It's going to be all these other things that creep into you, and it's just not sustainable. I'm telling you, you build a real estate business that you go and source discounted properties. That is a business that is concrete. You can do that forever. Mm-hmm. For real. I can't wait to start wholesaling digital real estate.
Bro, I'm telling you.
People that need some money, people that want to trade.
Oh,
it's the same thing. They want to trade,
thing.
Price for speed and convenience. So there you go. JJ Smooth Criminal. MJJ Smooth Criminal.
Yep. Hey, Brent and Ryan, I have a deal that I'm doing, and the ARV is $180,000 plus $40K, maybe $30K in repairs. So the max allowable offer being $116,200. Is that a good deal for a buyer?
No, that's not even
tight.
close.
Too tight.
You're not even close, bro.
You need to be under 100, in my opinion, on that one.
Yeah. So remember, will you put up the rules, Matt? 66, 50, 25%. Look, if it's under 250,000, it's 50% minimum. If it needs 40,000, like look at the numbers on this thing. So go back to that real quick. Go back to that post. I'm sorry. Go back to the question. So you're at ARV 180. Okay, you're at a max allowable offer of 116,200. What are you going to sell for? 10? Okay, so let's say you make 10,000 on this thing. So you're at 126. Then they got closing costs. Let's say those closing costs, both sides are $4,000. All right, so now you're at 130 on this thing. You're putting 40,000 into it. You're at 170 as an investor, and then you have commissions. You've got holding costs. You've got closing costs when you sell it. Mm-hmm. There's no spread there, bro.
Yeah.
There's no spread, right? If you really want to get nitty gritty with this, you take 180. You times it by 0.94. You take 6% off the top. This is going to be crazy. There's going to be a lot of questions. People are going to not get this right. I've done this 1,000 times. It's fine. 180 times 0.94. Take 6% off the top. Okay, you got it, right? And then minus 20,000. That's the minimum that they want to make. Okay, minus 40,000. Okay, that means that you're selling this thing at 109. 109. So my max allowable offer on this is 90,000. Do you see how that works? You make $19,000, and that gives you some spread there in case that the budget's a little bit bigger than 40, because it could creep higher in today's market. So if you're at 90 and the ARV is 180, if you'll please put that percentage back up. It works. 50%. Look, 50% of the ARV. Boom. 180, 50%, 90,000. You go in at 90,000. You got a deal.
Yep, you got 15, 20K minimum.
There you go. There you go, brother. So there's the breakdown. And I did all those calculations because that's how we fine-tooth it with our own deals and with our students' deals. But you can just do it broad with the 66, 50, and 25%. Mm-hmm. Also, what is the best way to lock up the contract with the seller before marketing it to the buyers? Pre-qualify, lead follow-up, offer presentation. Pre-qualify, condition, timeline, motivation, price. Lead follow-up, Nike, just do it, right? Don't overthink this, right? And then the offer presentation. The offer presentation should be the closing should be a natural progression of you pre-qualifying and lead follow-up. If they like you, know you, trust you, and you know what price they want and the condition of the property, and you come to agreement on the terms of when they want to close, you should just go there and go, okay, great, here it is. Here's exactly what we talked about. Boom. And before you go on that appointment, you go, hey, is there anything stopping you? Right? What would stop you? Sorry, let's ask an open-ended question. What would stop you from signing the agreement when I come over today at 2:00?
Yep. That's it.
Yeah. There you go.
Brent's on one today.
We got it.
Let's go.
Go ahead.
From Joe, I came across a 5-bed, 3-bath in Northridge off market. She's willing to sell, however. I'm not sure how to proceed. Any suggestions? Zillow comps are at $1,032,200. Yeah, so what we just went through with the numbers, I would recommend going through that, figure out what your max allowable offer is, and then obviously reverse engineer that with what you want to make as your fee, and then wholesale it. I'd be curious to see what the comps are. Obviously, be mindful on Zillow that sometimes they are not the most accurate. You just got to make sure you're using the sold comps as opposed to like a Zestimate.
And I want to get into this a little bit on how you guys pre-qualify on-market deals, because you already know their timeline.
Right.
You already know their condition. You already know their price. The last thing is really motivation. So I want to kind of pick your guys' brain.
Sure.
So give us a pause on the next comment, Alejandra. But Joe, listen, what's the condition, timeline, motivation, price? So if you talk to him and she's willing to sell, okay, get the rest of it. What's the condition? What's the timeline? Are they, people that are willing to sell, does that mean they've made the decision? Willing is not, we are definitely going to sign a document that's going to transfer ownership of this property to somebody else, right?
Yep.
So are they, right? Typically, and this is the question, Joe, typically we can close in 30 days on a transaction like this. If I got you your money in 30 days, is that going to work for you? Listen, it's not an open-ended question. It's a yes, no. I want them to say yes. If they say no, then go, okay, what would be the perfect time? What's the best timeline for this? Because if you start throwing out prices and they don't want to sell this or haven't made the decision to sell this for 6 months, your offer just became the benchmark. Mm-hmm. Everything else is going to be added on top of that. And if you want to get smaller deals, negotiate against other sellers, other buyers. Okay? So find out all of those things. And then from there, just see what they want. What's the price that they want? If it's at Zillow, $1,033,000, and it needs a bunch of work because it's dated, offer 66%. And don't offer it right off the bat. Say, you know what? Property's similar. Your neighbor's similar to your condition are selling around $660,000. Is that kind of what you were expecting? Is that what you were thinking? And then go from there.
Beautiful.
Yep. Before we go here, real quick. So how do you pre-qualify for motivation on on-market properties? Because you know all the other pre-quals.
Yep.
How do you know that they're willing to take? I assume you're getting them under the price that they listed for.
90% of the time.
Okay.
Yep. And the one thing actually to your point is actually timeline is not always guaranteed. So what expectation should be set, and I'll put that very lightly, should be set by the realtor is to expect a 30-day close.
Right.
Now, 9 times out of 10, that's about average what they're expecting.
Yep.
Occasionally, you'll find a realtor that got a seller that had to put their house on the market and sell it super quick because of a specific situation.
Sure.
Or a specific motivation. Maybe they got a house under contract prior to listing their house, and they need an offer that's going to come in and close and align a specific date with what they're trying to close on the other house with.
Yeah.
So we start off by asking, what's the seller's situation?
Okay.
The situation is going to lead to the motivation.
You're
and
asking the
timeline.
agent that?
Yeah. So
and
like,
they're willing to tell you.
absolutely.
Okay.
So like, hey, if we were to come to an agreement, does the seller already have a house they're looking to move into?
Got it.
Another question you could ask is, how soon is the seller looking to sell?
Right.
So if they say as quick as possible, awesome. So is 14 days a little quick, or do they need a little bit longer?
Got it.
9 times out of 10 with that, the only thing that's going to hold them back is if it's going to be stressful of moving super quickly.
Right.
So once we're able to figure out the timeline and their situation, that leads to the motivation. And then, like you said, the price. We obviously lead in every single transaction as if we are the buyers,
Right.
because we are
The buyers.
we are the actual
Yeah,
buyers.
right.
So if we're willing to buy it at the price that we get it at, we're willing to close on it, take it down. And then we also know that if we're willing to pay that, our end buyers that we would wholesale to are willing to pay more.
Awesome. Good. There you go. And they're just willing to give you the motivation. They're
Absolutely.
just telling you what's going on.
You'll every now and then find the one realtor that thinks that having a real estate license makes them more powerful than like an attorney. And they're
Yes.
like, I can't disclose anything. And I'm
Yes.
like, all right, Sue, like
Yeah.
chill out.
Yeah.
Like,
It's always Sue.
yeah,
Here-
no, it's
here's how I
always
get
Sue.
around that. I always ask the question, or here's how I started off. I go, man, I love the location of this house. It's a shame they have to sell. Like, why in the world would they sell this location? Sometimes I throw in there and
Yeah.
on Google Maps. I'm like, I love the Target down the street.
Yep.
Usually the realtor's nearby, and they'll say something, and then they just spill the beans. So it's like my roundabout way of not being
Yep.
direct.
Yep.
But that's still a question that's open-ended enough to where they'll just tell me what I need to know.
Yep.
Right.
Love it. What have you added into your contract to disclose that you're a wholesaler in AZ? Is that law already enforced? Yes, Preston. And I've been disclosing that in my contract since I started using the contract that we use, which was 2015. So I've been using that same thing. It discloses it right in there. We go over it with the seller. We've never had a problem with it. We've had some questions with it. We've had some people wanting to remove it, so we just close it ourselves. But yeah, Preston, the best, so that you understand if your contract has that in there, ask the title company.
Mm-hmm.
Just talk to the title company and be like, what do you need added to the contract now that we have this new provision? Yeah,
That's
easy stuff. I mean, I have it. I don't want to bore everybody else that's around the country. I mean, I could send it to Matt right now, the PDF that has everything. And if you want, Preston, what should he do, Alejandro? Email you, DM me. I can send him the PDF with the instructions on it. Don't even worry about it, Preston. Like, just talk to the title company.
We have it on the inside?
No, just talk to the title company. Easy, way easier.
Mm-hmm.
Cedric, REI, called an agent 7 a.m. this morning to make an offer and offer our services to their whole office, celebrating a small one. Yes!
Good stuff.
You get a ring this one. How about that? That is
Awesome.
amazing. So tell them specifically what you're looking for and make sure that they know that you want off-market deals sent directly to you. Ring that bell.
All right.
That is a 7 a.m.
Dude, I know. That's my first day. I'm like, ooh, they answered? Because I can tell right now, most
That's
realtors,
awesome.
I know, wouldn't.
Oh, Drew Biz, are you kidding me? Wait a second. Drew, the next time you find 2 acres in northern Arizona, you better DM me, brother. Drew Biz, congratulations. How much? And yeah, we've got plenty of buyers for these. Assign 2 acres. Let us know how much you made on that. Bring that bell down. Here we go. Yes. That is awesome, Drew. Congrats. 75-day challenge, 24.75. Appreciate the value, guys. Keep it going, Matt. Let's crack this open. Let's get the 75-day challenge. Oh, we're ringing this thing again. Yep. Great job, Matt. Keep it going.
He's already
Keep it
closed, I
going.
think, 2 deals during the
Yeah,
challenge.
I know.
Like,
I
he's
know.
he's crushing.
Absolutely crushing it. So let's pull up the 75-day challenge just to, if somebody's just starting now, start it. I mean, somebody's just joining us now, start this, all
Let's
right?
do it.
Build your confidence, impact your community, achieve financial freedom. 75-day wholesale challenge. Number 1, remember this. This plan will work if I do. this plan will work if I do. You have to believe that you are going to be successful. You have to believe in the law of cause and effect. If you talk to enough and have enough quality conversations with distressed property owners, you cannot lose. All right? Whatever your mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. That is Think and Grow Rich right there.
Mm-hmm.
Number
2, block out 15 hours a week. And I know that a lot of you guys are working full-time jobs, or you have a limiting belief that 15 hours is a lot of time. What I need you to understand is that this goes also into our 5 steps to financial freedom. You need to be able to do this so that you could transition full-time. So if you can't put aside 15 hours a week, you're not even getting started in taking action. So like it says on here, this needs to be focused, distraction-free time that you're going to dedicate to pulling lists, making calls, knocking on doors. I'll add in putting in offers. You need to be proactive in finding distressed properties and contacting the owners. When you're starting, deals don't just come to you. Understand that. Not just putting in your Instagram bio, I'm a real estate investor, is going to have people flooding you with a bunch of opportunities. Putting in the actual 15 hours a week will lead to green time, which leads to more opportunities to make real money.
Number 3, it is not time management. It is not priority management. It is not energy management. It is attention management. That is like everything. I am telling you, once you understand this principle, you'll all of a sudden be looking at, where am I putting my attention during the day? What is happening? Because we all have time, we all have priorities, we all have energy, we all have all these things. But where does the attention? Where are you putting that to? You know what I mean? And that is surrounding yourself with people that are doing this, that speak the language, that are really proactive, that are a community that's going to be your cheerleader during this tough time. This first 90 days, and especially this 75-day challenge, it is a fist fight emotionally in your head. There's a lot of changes going on. You have to fit this into your life with all the other responsibilities that you have, all the other goals that you have for your body, for your spirit, for your brain, for all of these things. You have to fit this in. Make sure that you surround yourself with people that are on that same path.
Mm-hmm. Number 4, get lean. And we're not talking just hitting the gym. We're talking about cutting spending. We're talking about maybe not going out to dinner 3 times a week or even once a week at the beginning. If you've got to cut back certain things to be able to live within your means for a while, understand we're doing this for a reason. It's discipline. It's going to allow you to have that true sense of fulfillment and appreciation that once you do start succeeding, that you'll be able to reward yourself with a small win, which we're going to get to down in another one of the steps.
I'm texting Stephanie Hunt right now, 30 contacts, because I am pushing her.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear that? Did you see her video yesterday?
I didn't see it. She got to 15. Yep.
30.
I called her.
Called her.
Yeah, I called her.
2 seller appointments today.
Come on, player. Come on.
That's it.
Come on, Stephanie Hunt. So Stephanie Hunt, by the way, the reason I bring it up, she on YouTube, she's posting every single day of her 75-day challenge. 2 days ago, she posted that she crawled into her bathroom and started crying. So I called her and I said, listen, you got to talk to 30 new people today.
Yep.
She got to 15 because she started late. I don't know why. Maybe she had other things.
The whole power on her street.
Her power went out. Okay, got it.
It was out for last
Okay,
week.
good.
Went to the library to cold call.
She went to the library to cold call, guys. Did you hear that? The power went out on her street and she went to the library to make her calls.
That's
She
insane.
has a family. She has kids. She has these things. You know what I mean?
Discipline, yeah.
This is she's got a ton of responsibilities. This is still where she's putting her attention.
Yep.
And it comes down to number 5, talking to 200 homeowners, 100 agents. 200, 100, 200, 100. In 75 days.
That's not much.
300 people in 75 days. That's less than 5 people a day that you have to have a conversation and just ask them if they have, 1, with the property owners, if they'd consider an offer, and 2, with the agents, if they have people that are ready to sell properties that need full remodel. And it happens every single day. So talk to them. 200, 100.
Absolutely. Number 6, visit 3 open houses a week. This is one of the most slept on strategies in the entire industry. You guys, I am telling you, if you go to 3 open houses a week, it's like Albert said, being able to go and be face to face with somebody, give them the handshake, and make sure they understand they can put a face to the name.
Yep.
If you go out on a weekend, you're likely going to see open house signs. Stop in, talk to the agents, ask them about the house, about the comps in the area, about the neighborhood, what areas they target. Do you get a lot of listings over here? What do you do? Do you sell them before they go to live, or do you just put them on the market first? This is the chance to make a very real connection, and I want you guys to understand that when you're in these open houses, their job is to not sell that house. If they do, fantastic. Their job is to get people like yourself that they're going to consider clients, where they will get representation and commission in the deals they help you find. Understand that.
$500 budget. Once you get that deal closed, $500 budget. That's what I want you to celebrate with, whatever it is. Fancy dinner, a nice shirt, pair of shoes, maybe a watch that you wanted, maybe an iWatch, maybe a new phone, whatever it is.
iWatch.
What is it called?
Apple Watch.
Apple Watch.
Why is it not an iWatch?
I don't know.
That's weird.
I'm
They're
sure
done with that branding. I don't know.
Apple Watch. I think everybody knew what I was saying. Anyway, I wear real watches, okay? You know what? No, it's because I broke that one. Or not that one. That one. Do you have one? No?
I have one.
Nobody has. There it is. So, yeah, reward yourself a little bit. There you go.
Number 8. Squat up with 5 people regularly. Make it a point to have at least 5 people who you regularly talk to and grow with. Great places to find these things. Guys, you're all watching a YouTube channel live right now. I guarantee you, if all of you, and I'll challenge you to do this right now, put what market you're in the comments, find people that you could work with. And guess what? Even if they're not in your market, if they're people that are doing acquisitions, you guys could work together and collaborate and find what's working in other markets to try to implement. You could find them on this YouTube channel. You could find them in my Discord. You could find them just by going to meetups. Understand that we're asking you to have 5 people that are going to help, love, and support you win. That's not many people. You got this.
Be active. Get loud. Turn your phone around and document what you're doing. Do it with some enthusiasm, some energy. Document it. Like, this is what I'm driving for dollars right now. This is crazy. I've never done this before in my life. I'm nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous. I'm nervous. This is something new. You know, if you guys know of anybody that wants to sell a property that needs a renovation, let me know. I'd love to talk to you about it. Boom. Be active on it. Be active, but don't live on it. Use social media as a tool, as a resource, not something that sucks all your attention because you're living vicariously through somebody else, or you're keeping tabs on your ex-girlfriend, or your whatever it is, whatever things that you're doing on social media, you know, like, use it as a tool. It's unbelievable for your business if you'll do it.
And just touching on number 9, I was in Minnesota last week, and we decided to do like a random pop-up event with a bunch of real estate investors. And shout out to everyone that came. It was so amazing. We had over 40 people that showed up with 2 days notice. I had 3 people that came up to me. They're like, how do you do social media? And I'm like, I want you to get your phone out right now. And I'm going to challenge all of you guys too, just like how I did with the comments. Take out your phone right now, snap a photo of this, put it on your social media site, say that you are getting your learning on and you are educating yourself and you're doing the action.
That's right.
It's just taking the action initiative with that.
That's right.
As for number 10, spend time taking care of yourself. There's a million different ways you could do this. It could be journaling, it could be meditating, going to the gym, it could be reading books, it could spending time with people you love or your dogs, whatever it is. Take care of home base. We talked about this yesterday in my office with the team, where it's what you need to do with everything on a day-to-day basis is taking care of home. Make sure that you are taking care of yourself, because that's going to allow you to give the best energy and effort into what you do on a day-to-day basis.
That's right. I say it after my Wednesday show every time. Keep your house clean.
Love that.
Like your house, literally your house. Like, don't have a dirty house. Come on. Seriously. And keep this house clean. Same thing. Keep the good stuff in here. There's so many things that could be poured into your brain that's going to be negative. So many things that it's going to be about failure. So many things about other people doing more than you or better than you, and all these other things, and comparing yourself and all that. Plunge it all out with good books, good audio, right? Good connections, good conversations. That's how you do it. That's how you stay positive and keep your energy up. Here we go. All right, back to the show. Jose, do you send the ARV and comps in the offer when you send it to the agent? Great question.
We do not. So
Thank you.
We just send our offer and our terms, and then if they respond back, every now and then you will get the bad apple that's like, are you kidding me? I could sell it for this. And I'm like, okay, well, no, we're not going to go sue here. We're going to say, okay, Sally, like, we get it. You could have sold the house $20,000 higher than what you should have.
Yeah.
That doesn't make you a good agent. Now, we're not saying these things. These are what we're just telling ourselves. So then at that point, we'll support ourselves with our comps and what our ARV is. If this property was X, Y, and Z, I could sell it here. But it needs X, Y, and Z, which means I can't give you this price. So that happens after the offer, not before.
I almost never do it, Jose, unless they're unless they're like an engineer mind where they really need to understand where the offers are coming from. But typically, if they are that, then they're competing with other offers. Sometimes they just want it to just feel better about the process, and you can bring that. But we almost never bring it unless we need to.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't initiate that typically. Isaiah, how can cash buyers spot structural issues with just photos? Last thing I'd want to do is get something under contract that has a bad foundation roof that I can't see. Don't want to screw up. You're going to screw up. You should be, I want to screw up. It's very simple. Is there any structural issues, Mr. Seller? No. Okay. Buyer goes in there. There's a bunch of structural issues. Hey, seller. We have to account for this. That makes sense, right? I can't pay you this price. You told me there wasn't structural issues. We had the conversation. When I walked through the house, it didn't look like there was, but apparently there is. And so now I need a price reduction. That's what happens. That's the point of selling it in your inspection period.
Correct.
That's the point of having an inspection period for that. So remember, even when you get the contract signed, you have a 10-day, 14-day buffer to be able to find out all of these little things. But I'm telling you, 99% of the time, the sellers are going to be like, it has foundation issues. It has structural issues. Like, you're going to know.
Yes.
It's not like it's like, oh my gosh, I took this floorboard off and there's a sinkhole underneath the house.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh my God.
There's sinkholes in some states. Do you know that?
No, you're right.
We just comped one that had a sinkhole. It's crazy. Anyway, so for the most part, they're going to let you know. Roof are easy stuff. You know, if they need to replace the roof, you can take a look at it from a Google Maps. Like Google Earth has all of like our house's roofs on it. You know what I mean? Like, look at the roof. Okay, that looks destroyed. When you go see the property, that looks destroyed. Like, these are very like small things to worry about. I get it, but you don't have to be. Stop trying to be a contractor. Stop trying to be a home inspector. What we are is we are artists, and our art is finding discounted properties. That's it. So just do it. And then when those things come up, get a price reduction if you need to.
From Jake. How do you go about building a relationship with an agent in non-dual agency states?
Awesome.
That's a great question. So what he's referring to with dual agency is when it's the same agent that has the listing also represents the buyer in the same transaction. Now, technicality-wise, it's actually the same brokerage that'd be representing both sides. That's still a dual agency. So what you want to do is make sure they understand that you could do one, you could go unrepresented, or two, you want to make them have the ability to be familiar with what you're looking for. So the next opportunity they find, you're the first person they think of. So before it goes on market, they're going to bring it to you. You guys would squad up. You would then split the assignment fee, or you give them a finder's fee, and then they don't have to go through the hassle of listing it. You'd be surprised how many agents don't like listing properties that are extremely distressed because they don't want to put their brand and their logo and that sign out front on a property that needs $100,000 in rehab.
They also don't want to go through 25,000 offers. Anytime an ugly house hits the market, every investor is going to send a ton of offers to it. And then they have to, and by the way, in a lot of states, every offer that is submitted, you have to keep in your file for a minimum of a year. The accepted 5. Accepted offers 5. Any just submitted offer is 1. Right? So, I mean, that's common in a lot of states. So now they have to go and they have to scan in and take pictures and review. And literally they have to go, here's the 15 offers that we get. It's a nightmare for agents. Plus, typically they're low price points. So they're making a couple grand on these things. So they're like, wait a second, there's got to be a better way to do this. Boom. Sell it to Ryan. Boom. Sell it to me. Boom. Sell it to Albert. Boom. Sell it to Handra. You know what I mean? Like,
and
they want to sell it. Yeah. I mean, they want to work with you. So if it's a dual agency, go unrepresented, or go, I know that you've been in this industry for a while. Who's somebody outside of your brokerage that can write this up and work with me? They have homies. All they do is hang out with other agents. Their kids go to school with other real estate agents. You know what I mean? Parents. And so they connect, and here's a bone I'm going to throw you. Easy deal. Just asking for a referral. Deal machine, no doubt, Carlos. Not even close. I mean, Propelio was like on a hot streak, and then they kind of melted down, and then I think they just focused on Texas. But Deal Machine spends way more money than anybody on driving for dollars. Way more.
Shout out to David.
So there you go. David Luck. I had a Zoom call with the owner of Deal Machine yesterday.
Yeah.
And he's trying to put on mass, so he just ate for 25 straight minutes. The entire Zoom. He ate like beef. It was like crazy. He's like, I got to eat 17,000 calories. Anyway, here we go. I'm doing some virtual driving for dollars. How should we identify some good areas? This one, Joel, listen. Older properties, older established neighborhoods that typically don't have HOAs are going to be your best bet. And you don't have to overthink this. Like do a Google Maps search and drop yourself into different areas that you haven't been and look around with the little Google Map thing, right? The little guy that you drop.
You know what's crazy? I did this a few years ago since we're on virtual today. I put on those goggles, the virtual goggles. You can actually be virtual walking.
No.
Yeah, it was the craziest thing. It was like a Google Earth feature when like I think the Oculus just came out, but I would literally be on the street just like going through. I'm like, it was the
That's
craziest
crazy.
thing.
Yeah, I thought
was
Albert
wild.
was too busy for
Yeah, I
video
thought, yeah.
games. Look at this guy. Now we're cracking. I see what's going on.
I'll bring my Oculus in.
You got an Oculus? All right.
Let's
yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
We'll do a whole show like that, just goggles on.
Yeah, people would love it. Yeah, it'd be real great. That's awesome. Do we take a FOIA to code enforcement?
I have no idea what the hell that is.
I think that is the
OIA.
what is that? The Freedom of Information Act.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can, if they're really pushing you. You want to start a really salty relationship. Walk in with that the first day. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
sure, you can do that, but why not just go and bring them donuts?
Yep.
You know what I mean?
He has a lot of questions.
Should I approach the code enforcement with I am doing a college project on demographics of different types of code violations? Listen, we're truth tellers, truth
Yeah.
seekers. Just
play
go
the
tell
game.
them.
Don't play the game.
Just be like, listen, I am renovating neighborhoods that have really distressed properties, and I want to make sure that we can clean up the streets. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, and you can give a personal story. Listen, I lived down the street or whatever, or growing up, and this was broken into, and this had squatters in it, or I worked with this seller, and you know, people were breaking into their vacant house all the time and starting fires, and it was a whole mess. And I want to stop that. It's my mission to stop that and find the right developers, the right investors for these areas to pour money into these communities. I think that's way more noble than a college project.
And it also makes you relatable and real.
Yeah.
Very real.
Yeah.
People like
Let's
that.
go for it.
From Repurpose You, Google I/O just announced you can virtual tour restaurants and businesses in Google Maps to see inside.
See, that's cool.
That's
Okay,
cool.
that is pretty cool. Because like if you're like there on a Friday or Saturday night and you're like, what are my odds of getting in? And you like go inside the place, it's super small. You're like, hell no, I'm not gonna make it.
But it's not going to be live.
No, not live.
No, I know, I'm just
live.
saying. But like if it's a small place, you can make the assumption you're not getting in
Oh,
on a Friday,
that's
Saturday
weird.
night.
If I'm eating, I don't want a camera on me seeing the.
No, hell no.
I think that'd be
no.
smart for restaurants to do, though. Have a live camera and just have it active.
Can you imagine getting into
Yelp
like a
has
fight
like
in a bar though?
a live
Like,
meter.
do,
Tells
like
you how busy they
TMZ
are.
shit.
Well, I mean, they have those anyway. Yeah. Cool. Hey, Brent. I'm in Las Vegas as an aspiring wholesaler. Awesome. Great market. I'm wondering if Las Vegas is one of the markets where it's harder because of big companies with large branding budgets. No, Cole. I mean, listen, Vegas is probably 75% what Phoenix is in the amount of incredible wholesalers in the market. So go for it, brother. Listen, it depends on how you communicate with the property owner, and it depends on how diligent and committed and convicted you are about this business. You could do this business anywhere except for Miami. Miami's just a crazy town. I mean, it's just really rough. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, literally, Vegas. I have a ton of very, very, very successful students in Vegas. Yeah. Yeah, you can always listen. The beautiful thing about being proactive, Cole, is you can get a list. What I would suggest if you're interested in other markets, maybe you want to try out Reno or somewhere else in Nevada, or if you want to cross the border into California and try some of those or whatever. Grab a list of 300 addresses and skip chase them, call them. and see how your response is.
If you don't like Vegas, don't do California.
Did you make that shirt? Is that like a shirt?
Gary V's.
Is it really?
Yeah, the thing on the back, see?
Oh, well, I had no idea.
Right on
It's
the
me, friends. It's the
microphone.
ambitious angel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I see
Yeah.
what's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
In bringing a wholesale deal, I have under contract to an agent for their buyers. How do I structure and approach them with the deal? Perfect.
Okay, so I'm bringing a wholesale deal I have under contract to an agent for the. Okay, there you go.
Yep.
What you want to make sure you understand with agents is that the only way that this question was brought to me in Discord yesterday, actually.
Nice.
What you need to remember is that the only thing the agents have is protection for them to get paid on the deal. They're only familiar with commission, so remember that. But then also, the only thing they have as value there is the relationship to the buyer. So do not expect them to say, here you go, here's my buyer's information. You want to make sure you're going to the agent and setting the expectations of them like, hey, I'm doing an off-market deal, it's wholesale. Are you familiar with this? If they say yes, great. If they say no, educate them. Explain to them what the process is going to look like and how they can get compensated. If you'd like, I'd be more than happy to give you like an option on this or put something in writing so that we're going to make sure you're compensated.
Yep.
I wouldn't give a flat amount until you obviously have it sold to their buyer, but make sure that you're setting the expectation so you're giving them the benefit of the doubt that they have what you need in the relationship to the buyer, and then you're telling them how they're going to get compensated. Then, like we've talked about before on here, you could make sure they're cut in on the assignment fee. You could pay them a flat fee. You could pay them a commission if you wanted to. Just figure out what works for them and then reverse engineer that.
That's right. We always have them put their assignment fee on top.
Yep.
And what you'll find sometimes, maybe 50%, maybe lower in this market, but they'll wait. They won't even mark it up because they'll get the listing on the back end once they fix it up. Which is the bigger play for the agent, because if they're continuously finding deals for a bunch of different clients that are going to do the repairs, then all of a sudden they're listing properties every single month that are really easy to sell. They get full commissions because they brought them the deal, and they look dope because look at all these great sales that I have. When they go on the appointments with other people, they go, look, these are all the incredible properties that I sold. I can sell yours too. And the people are like, yay, let's do business together. And then they make more money with all other people. So it's a huge advantage, and you can even like educate them and say, listen, a lot of the people that I work with, a lot of agents don't even mark it up to their buyers. They actually take it on the back end, and they get, it's really good for your listing business. And they go, oh, wow, that's an incredible idea. Great. So there you go.
How does that yay go again?
Yeah. That wasn't it. Well, agents get pumped, like that's their whole listing presentation is here's the sold here's the sold listings that I have, right?
Yep.
They send out postcards every time they sell a property.
Yep.
They put it in the newspaper, sold, pending, coming soon, all these things on all these properties. If there's no listings, there's no inventory. If you don't have listings as an agent, you're running around with buyers, and that's a nightmare. All right, Earth Baby. When wholesaling I am also a Earth Baby. So there we go. When wholesaling a on-market deal with an agent, I know I'm not buying the property. What do I say to obtain the trust and make the deal happen?
So first off, let's call out what it is. You've probably got some imposter syndrome going on here, and that's okay.
Yep.
What you need to do is make sure you've got the actual buying capability to this property.
Yep.
So squatting up with somebody that has the proof of funds you need and the past deals to be able to show to the agent to give yourself the confidence and the actual credibility to purchase. That's number one. Two, you could actually have a hard money lender that will back you in the transaction that you can perform and purchase this property. Don't go into it saying you're a wholesaler. I was telling people this the other day. The way that I go into these conversations, if they ask, I had a deal 2 days ago that came back to us that I let it go, and I knew another wholesaler was going to go, and they weren't going to be able to perform on it. He came back to me. He's like, oh, yeah, they're wholesalers. I'm like, okay, well, full transparency, wholesalers aren't bad, and that's part of my process. I go in with every property that I have the intent to purchase, but I buy properties to make a profit. Typically, I will fix and flip them or keep them as rentals, but occasionally I will sell them off to a partner or somebody else that I know, and I'll make money. That's how you tell them what your process is without going in saying, I'm a wholesaler, not a buyer. So I'd start with that, and then obviously have the backing to actually purchase these properties.
Yeah, that's key. I mean, listen, have one conversation. Literally Google and talk to like 3 hard money lenders in your marketplace. Find the one that's like super nice and super respectful and professional, and have them send you over. Say, if I find a really smoking deal, what's the most that you'll lend on it? Are you guys up to 100% if it's like a really discounted property, or are you always going to need some skin in the game? What you're going to find is the competitive market of hard money. Some of them are going to be like, we'll lend 100% 7%. It's going to be more interest. It's going to be a higher interest rate, but if it's, we'll review the deal. So now you've got millions of dollars in confidence behind your back, right? So now you are an actual buyer because you had one conversation with hard money lenders that are willing to put money on the streets because that's their job. That's their whole business. So have that conversation today, Earth Baby. And remember, the trust comes from your tone of voice. The trust comes from your certainty and your likability.
Yep.
That's what it is. You can screw up the whole conversation, but if you're likable and you have that confidence and certainty, they're going to work with you. They're going to want to be around you. You know what I mean? Let me tell you a secret about most investors. Most investors are terrible at communicating. They're just terrible. They're either like these hardcore drivers that sound like they're like, hey, this is what I'm looking for. Can you get it to me? An agent's a dime a dozen. Are you going to be the one that's different? I'm looking for an agent that's going to work for me 24/7, and it's going to be awesome, and we're going to make a lot of money together, bro, and it's going to be crazy. But I need somebody that's going to really dive in deep, really sink the teeth into this, okay? Right? That's... Right?
Yep.
You're laughing because this is most agents. I mean, most investors, right? They're going with like this hard, they're trying to be like this big deal. And if you go in with certainty and likability, you win. I'm telling you, if you bring some energy and like, how can I help you grow your business as opposed to like this big time investor thing, you're going to win. There's not competition. I'm telling you. I've been doing this a long time. I'm telling you, that's most people.
Kenny, clip that, please.
Right. Yeah, for sure. There you go. Damien. All right, here we go. Got my first off-market lead from an agent. How would you comp a buy and hold?
By first off, knowing what a buy and hold investor wants to pay. Are they willing to pay a certain percentage? Are they looking for cap rate? Are they just looking to deploy money because they don't want to pay tax?
Right.
Figuring out what their buy box is, reverse engineering that with yourself. Obviously, most of the time what we do with our buy box is we're going to go into this with the fix and flip mentality because we're planning to wholesale. Obviously, if you're still wholesaling here, you just need to figure out what your buy and hold investors are looking for and then put your fee on there.
Yeah, and is this one for you?
That too.
Is this one for you or is this one for somebody else? Because if it's for somebody else, you're going to still have to get a discount because you're going to have to make something on it. So make sure that the numbers make sense with your fee included. And just the conversations all starts with talking to your buyers. What are you looking to buy and hold? What are the numbers? What does that look like? Just like Ryan was saying, just figure out what their buy box is, just like we do with hedge funds. It's the exact same conversation because they are buy and hold investors. What's your buy box? Where do you want to buy? What age? How much repairs are you comfortable with? You know what I mean? What are some like absolute no's? Is it major streets? Is it backing to commercial? Is it whatever? Just find what they're looking for, and if it fits it, go for it. But just make sure that these properties do not require a tremendous amount of rehab. Unless you're in like those really lower price points where you can sell it to like turnkey rental companies, then you can do that. But if it's a real rental, make sure that it's like 20, 30K max repair budget. I'm talking just cosmetic. If you have to go in there and do anything major, it's a buy and hold has no interest in that. They don't have the capacity. They don't have the crews. They don't have the interest. They don't have the money to hold it for that long.
And they'll be pissed at you if they buy it sight unseen.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. There you go.
Arturo. Hello, how do I make an assignment on a digital doc N? I don't know. Can I use through dot loop? What do they mean, digital doc N? How do I make the... Yeah, probably. How do I make the agreement digital? Yeah, I mean, you can use dot loop. It's just...
Are we talking about like an email signature?
Yeah, I think that's what's
going on.
Yeah.
DocuSign.
So, yeah, DocuSign's what we use.
Just go to DocuSign.
Or there's one, I think what do we use, Albert? Transaction Desk?
Transaction Desk.
Yeah.
Authentisign.
That's what we use.
Authentisign.
Authentisign.
And DocuSign or whatever. So yeah, you just get it, you upload it to it, you put the little boxes there for initials and signature, and boom, you're going. There you go. Norma, Brent, I am a newbie. Have a house under contract. Well, apparently you're not that newbie. Look at you. Have a house under contract, JV with a sub-2 student. We had a hard time getting a buyer, but we have at least 2. Hope to close soon. Norma!
Let's go.
You wild woman. Look at that. Come on. Here we go.
Good stuff.
That is awesome. Congratulations, Norma. Yeah, that is fantastic. Just remove the only thing I don't like about this post, and I don't like it when anybody says it, is the word newbie. Stop it. A newbie is a brand new baby. That's it. That's a new person on this planet. You've had conversations your whole life since the time you could talk. You're not new at conversations, right? The only thing that you're new at is this real estate thing, and that's fine. But don't label yourself new. Even when you start the whole newbie thing, I'm excited. I just got started. I know that I'm going to be incredible at this, and you don't have to say this to people, right? But this is the way that you put it in yourself. But I find when people and even coaches and influencers in our space call people newbie, I feel like it's condescending.
100%.
I really do.
100%.
I really do. I think that that's silly. You're not. You know what I mean? So remove that label, Norma. You're on fire. You are powerful. You are absolutely incredible. So congratulations. Get that deal closed and keep us updated. Let us know what you make on it. That's great. Quan Dang, how do you overcome the offer below county assessor value?
So we don't use the assessed value.
Right.
We use our actual comps. As for overcoming the offer below that, it's just setting expectations and like we always talk about on the show, building rapport, figuring out the motivation, condition, timeline, price, just like a normal transaction, and telling them where your offer has to be. It goes back to setting expectations properly and why your offer is where it's at.
Quan, what does the seller want?
Yep.
Pull it out of them. Don't go into assumptions and go, if I offer this, they're going to be offended, right? First, find out what their expectations are. You know what I mean? After when you sell this property and everything's paid off and you walk away with a check for the net proceeds, like this is what you put into your bank account, into your pocket, how much does that have to be?
Yep.
Okay, great. $40,000? Okay, great. And do you know kind of what you owe? I owe 80. Okay, great. So we're talking, if I gave you a net offer of 120, that would make sense. Yes. Okay. Well, I don't know if I can do that. Is that the best you can do? Well, I don't know. Yeah, maybe I could walk away with 30. Okay, so 110. We can make a deal at 110. All right, let me take a look at this. Oh, it's on Zillow for 300. Yeah, we can make that happen, right? Who knows? Whatever it is, just have those conversations. Pull the price out of them as many times as possible. And then if you have to throw a price at them, you have to throw it at them. But do it with the disguise of, it looks like your neighbors are selling in similar condition for about this price. Is that what you were thinking?
Yep.
No, I want way more. That wouldn't even pay off my contractor lien and my mortgage and all the other things. So
asking the right questions.
Yep. But I get it. Good question.
From Addison Walker, I have found a duplex I want to partner with and found someone in my market. As a rookie,
there we go.
How do I ensure I don't get
You know what
backstabbed?
I like when people say? Greenhorns.
Oh,
Are you familiar with that?
yeah.
No.
So the only reason I know what a greenhorn was because of that Deadliest Catch show.
I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Oh,
Deadliest
okay.
Catch.
That's where I know.
The new guy on the ship or the new guy on the crew.
Okay.
It's like a construction or a very specialized skill, like an apprenticeship type of thing. Yes, there we go, Addison. I love it.
How do you ensure you don't get backstabbed? Have it in writing. That's what I always recommend.
You want to. It sounds like he wants to own this.
Yep.
So you're going to be on title.
Yeah.
So if you're on title, you're on title. Mm-hmm. So just make sure the title company knows how you're taking title and that you're 50-50. So that's all title company work, brother.
Girl.
Yep. Or girl. Sorry. Sister. Friend. Whatever.
Earth baby.
Yeah, Earth baby.
Earth baby.
There we go.
From Mark Johnson, what are the primary key things when comping a teardown? Would I approach this offer as a vacant lot deal? Thanks in advance. What would you do?
Yeah, I'd look at it as a vacant lot. Not only that, but you've got $5 to $10K in costs to get that scraped, to get the house pulled off of that property. Mm-hmm. So you got to get it really, really low. Land lots, you want to look at what's the highest sale in the neighborhood, and typically a builder, depending on the price of it, is going to pay about 20%. If it's over 300,000 for that property, if it's under that, maybe 10%. So just factor that in and be under that.
We should get Anthony on here, Pappas, the land guy. Have him talk about a bunch of lots and land. I think that'd help a lot of people in this instance.
How old is he?
We could say he's less than 30.
I think he's 30.
He's like 32, I think.
Oh, is he? Yeah, we'll bring him on. It's close enough. It's in that plus or minus.
29 and holding.
There's a lot of questions with land, and
Yeah.
I need to be more educated on it myself too.
Yeah, we've done a lot of land deals. I mean, land, don't overthink it. The key to land is find the people that want nothing for it. That's it. Because people, it's amazing how many times, and Alejandra can contest to this because we both comp properties, it's a burnt down property, it's land only, they want 100,000. Well, what's the neighborhood selling for? 250. Listen, offer them $1,000.
Literally.
They already got their insurance money.
Right.
They already got the insurance money. So what are we talking about here? So now they want to double dip and get 100,000 for something. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make sense. Groovy. I'm an attorney. I am in an attorney closing state. When using a TTP strategy to get leads from title companies, do law offices have a list of pre-foreclosures? Yeah. Oftentimes they do.
They do.
But I'm telling you, it's probably the lowest rung. It's the lowest in my experience. Now, maybe other people have had great experience with the list that they get from the title company or closing attorneys. But by the time you get it from them, it's usually dated. It's in weird format. Sometimes they send it to you and you need permission to get it, and then you ask for permission, they get it a couple days late, and then it's already like old data. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't go after 60-day lates. You can. I've never had a good experience with pre-foreclosures. Yep. I just haven't. I've gone out, and I'd love to. I'd love testing on, like, yes. And these have been out for a long time, at least 10 years. And so I've been going after these first for listings, and now as an investor and a wholesaler, and I've been going and going and going, and it's just like, no, I'm fine. I just, we don't want to sell. We're not there. Remember, 60-day late means they have another 4 months before it even gets foreclosed, and they probably get it postponed, right? Because everything's backed up from the 2 years that they, stopped foreclosures. So, just something to think about there. And I think that if you are just building it, you just build it from driving for dollars, it's going to be a way better list. But test it. I don't know. Maybe in your market it's different.
From Eva. Could I ask agents if their clients would be willing to do lease options / seller financing / sub 2 for my own house to buy? You can always ask. Again, going back to a similar question we had a few ago, what you need to understand about agents is that the thing they care about is how they are going to get compensated. So just make sure you're explaining to them what the process looks like. And similar to wholesaling, where a lot of agents get flustered and confused is because they're not familiar with the process. So I know a lot of agents are extremely not familiar with lease options and sub 2. Seller financing a little bit more they're familiar with, or at least they've heard the terminology. Yeah. But I can promise you most agents don't know what sub 2 is. So you just really need to explain that to them.
Yeah, the toughest thing with agents is you're going to have to pay them.
Yep.
Because if you're not cashing out the seller's not paying the commission to their agent. Yep. So then you do.
Yep.
So what, you're going to pay 6% on this thing to the agent for a house that if you bought it normally, you would get it? And my question to you, Eva, is why? Why buy a primary residence right now with creative financing? Do you know how big of a distraction that's going to be? Do you know how big? Like, you're going to get new home ownership on a creative financing deal while you're building your business at the same time with all the other responsibilities that you have. I'm just telling you, the people that laser focus and just focus on finding ugly houses and big checks and then build that business and then go buy their dream house and then go buy the things, go way faster. Because there's no distractions. They're obsessed with building their business. As an entrepreneur, it becomes like a child. Your business is like a kid. It's like you have to like really pour yourself into it. You got to really commit to this thing. And this thing's going to be crying all the time, and you're going to have to be consoling it all the time, and you're going to have to be moving and shaking. You're going to have to give it a lot of attention. And then you want to put your attention on all the other things and designing and finding the right property to buy as your own primary residence before you go out and just find an ugly house that you can wholesale and make $20,000. And the likelihood that you're going to find an agent that knows enough creative financing and is open to enough creative financing and has the terms that is likely for you to succeed succeed with it and it's not a huge down payment, you're going to be looking all over the place. You're looking in the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm.
Go look at an ugly house and go to get a deal.
Yep.
And then just build it from there.
And you'd also have more than likely equity. Instant
Right.
Equity.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, I love owning property. It's fantastic, but it is a huge distraction.
Sure.
And when you're starting out your business, growing a actual business, that's how millionaires are made. I had this whole conversation yesterday. It was great. I put up this quote, Matt. Will you put up that Andrew Carnegie quote? The classic quote, right, Albert? I'm sure
Influence
you've seen
one?
it.
Yeah.
No. 90% of millionaires
Oh,
make
yeah.
their money from...
Real estate.
Right.
Yep.
Can't find that quote anywhere. Go research it. Can't tell you what year it was. You know what year he was born? 1835.
Beautiful.
He died at 1919. Right?
Wow.
Like, it's not the same world.
Right.
Business owners. There are 3 people on the top 100 wealthiest people in America that got there from real estate. 3. That's crazy.
Wow.
Right? The rest of it is business. Start and grow a business. Right? That's what we're doing. All right, Jose. There is any way to skip trace a list for low cost. You will get what you pay for, Jose.
That's all I was going to say.
Yep. You will get what you pay for.
Use
You can
batch.
you can go with cheaper alternatives. You can get it down to 2, 3, 4 cents. You could go on. You could do it for free at True People
Search.
Finder.
Yeah.
Go to True People Finder and try that out. I mean, if you want to keep your budget really low, just do it for free. Go to True People Finder or White Pages or whatever it is. But if you really want to get the most impact out of your time, then you got to go to batch skip tracing.
Yep. Or, I mean, a better way if you're trying to go low cost, just door knock. I mean,
Yeah.
you're really going to find out who it is.
Yep. There you go. Luis, how can I help a flipper that his agent can't sell his property?
So unfortunately, the flipper kinda,
Reduce your price.
Yeah, I was gonna say the flipper put himself in that position. The only thing
Yeah.
they can do is reduce the price.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, if they've already flipped the property and it's out there, they did their numbers wrong.
Yeah, that's it.
The market, or it's the right price, but they did a terrible remodel. You know what I mean? We've seen that too.
Price or condition. It's
Yeah.
usually those two things.
We've seen that too when some people go in and it's that bro investor.
Oh no!
Right?
Oh no! You're so right. You're so right.
That does it makes it the most masculine property of all time in a family neighborhood, and it's like way priced high because he thinks it's dope.
Yep.
And it's got all the neon lights and the
Industrial.
yeah, it's got like concrete floors that are all shiny. No. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it just depends. So what you can do is suggest him to to sell it lower. Yep. Carlos, how many pocket listings are you guys doing monthly?
Honestly, it's probably about like half of our business. It's from referral through other wholesalers, other real estate agents, or from other people in our community that are working with real estate agents to bring us the deal. Aside from, maybe it's probably 60-40. 60% we do is on market, 40% is going to be the pocket listings.
Yep. There you go. Is the closing quicker when the property is on market compared to regular direct seller wholesale deal?
The beautiful part of this is that neither of those are relevant.
Nope.
It's depending on what the seller wants.
You're 100% right. Yeah, Jose, it just depends. How fast can the title company get their ducks in a row? Do you already have your buyer lined up? Are they ready with their money? And is the seller prepared to close quickly?
Yep.
So it really doesn't matter if it's off market, if it's on market, any of those things.
Yep.
I will say typically when it's on market, they've already started the process of packing up or maybe moving out or maybe they already moved out. So that might be a little bit quicker. But on the other hand, you could be just reaching out to vacant properties and it goes just as fast. So
Faux show.
there you go. Maximo.
Ooh. Any tips when setting up banking for real estate wholesaling?
Yeah, get a business. Prime Corporate Services, for real.
Yep.
Prime Corporate Services, get them to set up your corporation. If you already have it set up, then just apply for an EIN number. Just Google it.
Yep.
Apply for EIN number, which is your social security number for your bank for your business.
Yep.
And then you take that to whatever bank you have.
And they say,
I
"Here you
bank
go."
with Bank of America. They've been decent to me. I mean, banks are banks, right? It's not like I need them for saving and interest and any of that stuff, but they have good credit cards that we use for the business for airline miles. We got all this stuff. So, yeah. Don't overthink it. Get an EIN number. Open up a bank account.
Yep. From Cole, how does transactional funding work? Is it done through the same hard money companies, or is it just a private person like private money?
Both.
Either or.
Yep. Yeah, it's both. So there's some companies that they specialize in that because they love taking 3 points from you.
Of course.
They love it. Oh, what a genius business. I can't wait for that.
3
I'm telling you,
points ever.
since I was probably 23, 24, I wanted to open up a hard money bank.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I just see it. You see them, and you're like, wait, what is happening?
You're literally giving money, you get more back. Give
They
money,
don't
get
do
more.
anything.
Yeah. Just
They don't find the deals. They don't fix up the deals. All they do is
gather
they
money.
review something real quick, and then they go, yeah, this is how much money I'll give you. Cool? Okay, great.
Being
and
a
back in the day when I was starting out, it was 18%. 18%.
I mean, that's like 100% financing.
With
yeah.
a point.
Oh my God.
With a point. Now, obviously, it's gotten more competitive.
Yeah.
But
18%.
I still know. I mean, gosh, I forget the name. Gus Brown and his company.
Wiley?
Yeah, Wiley.
Wiley.
They're 18%. They do 100% financing.
Yep, on flips.
And do the construction costs. 18%. And they make millions. I mean, those guys are like so smart. So smart. Anyway, there you go. Yeah, both. Build a bank. How would you go about wholesaling commercial properties? Ryan told me stories on juicy 6-7 figure assignment fees. Yes.
Yeah, it's a very similar process to the single-family homes and land and everything. The only thing you got to be a little bit more particular on is that there's a little bit more construction, there's a little bit more that goes into zoning, what the use is going to be, who your buyers are going to be, and then similar to land is that they expect a 45 to 60-day inspection period. So it's a little bit more longer of a due diligence period, but the assignment fees are fat.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's a lot slower.
Yes.
Let me tell you that, Isaiah.
Slow.
I mean, this is a 6-month, sometimes a year process, depending on if you're going for those bigger deals. If this is like a commercial property that's like 150,000 or something, it's going to be pretty similar to residential. The other thing is with wholesaling commercial properties, almost every time you're going through a commercial broker.
Yep.
Right? So you just call them all up and just start calling them and just saying, this is what I got. This is what I'm selling it for. Who do you got?
Yep.
Because all commercial brokers do all day for the first like 5-10 years of their business is cold call every single commercial building that they can to try to build a relationship with the commercial owners. Not only that, but then all the commercial buyers, they just database them.
Yep.
And they know exactly what they're looking for. So it's a really, really, really smart technique.
Yep.
It just
Time.
time and understand that the income that building brings in is going to determine the value.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
So
And then also, I mean, you'd be surprised how many commercial brokers, they've got pocket listings. Like
course.
that's all their business.
yeah, it's incredible. So there you go. Yeah, and those are big deals.
What's the biggest assignment fee you've seen?
Like that we've done?
Not just in general.
Assignment fee or like double close type of
Assignment fee. I've seen 1.2.
thing? Million?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything like that.
Damn.
Somebody did it on a commercial.
Commercial, yeah.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. Jared, I've heard you say if you contact 200 people, you should get one win out of that. I've made 3,600 calls, talked to 60 people, but have 0 deals. Yeah, you have to contact 200. You're at 60, bro. You're a third of the way there.
Mm-hmm.
So keep going.
Yep.
How many leads do you have?
That's
the
And
question.
where are you getting your data from, too? Because I would say 3,600 to 60 is, in my opinion, I think that's...
It depends on if he's using batch dialer. If you're using batch dialer, you should probably switch to Mojo. And you're going to talk to a heck of a lot more with those calls. So make sure, one, that your caller ID isn't popping up as spam likely, because out of those many calls, you should have talked to way more people. Typically, a 7% contact rate is solid. Mm-hmm. So just do the numbers there. You should have talked to way more people, brother. Yeah. So, yeah, you got to talk to 200, not just calls. So you've talked to 60, which is fantastic, and I celebrate that. You have to understand, most people have never talked to 60 strangers in their life, especially about real estate. Mm-hmm. So first of all, you have the wins behind your sales, brother. So just keep going, but get to that 200. Remember, it's a 90-day lag. So yes, you're talking to those people, but 1 out of 10 of them should be a lead that you're following up with. So out of 200, 180 of them are just going to flat reject you. 20 of them are going to say yes, they want to sell, that you're going to follow up with them, and 1 is going to close. Right? The other 19 are going to list, or they're going to not sell it anymore, or they're going to sell it to another person, or they're going to re-rent it or do something with it. Right? So there you go, buddy. Keep it going. That's incredible. What you should do different is just make sure you get a higher contact rate. Last question. We're already there.
Damn.
All right. Shoot. Greg, great question. What's the best time to call agents?
Calling agents. I saw the question earlier that said 7 a.m. I do not recommend that. I recommend for agents between 10 and 2.
Yeah.
And that's what I found success with. But what I always tell people as well is when you have the time to do it.
Yeah, when you can be consistent is the overall answer, Greg. The specific answer is I always like the mornings for hunting, the afternoons for harvesting, right? I want to find business in the morning and do business in the afternoon. And it worked out really well because then it doesn't spill in. I like being done with my day and being at dinner every night. You know what I'm saying? And so if you push it off, and it just depends. That wasn't always the case. In hustle season, I was going all the time. I mean, it was 18-hour push fest. You know what I mean? It was go, 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 go all the time, right? And there's part of that in this business is that hustle season, but it doesn't last forever, I'm telling you. Especially when you build up the bank account and you build up your systems and you follow the plans that we're putting out here. All right?
Yep.
Awesome. Let's go one time real quick. Go through the blueprint, Millionaire Before 30 blueprint.
Let's do it.
We're going to go first. Do a deal. Do a deal. That's it. Just go out there, get income.
Yep. Go full time in the business.
Yep. Kill your debt. No consumer debt. Credit cards, car payments, student loans. They are dragging you down, especially that car. I'm telling you, stop flexing. This isn't the time to flex. Flex when you can buy it cash. That's a flex. Flex when you have a business that's running itself. That's a flex. Flex when everybody wants to work with you. That's a flex. Flex when you have time to go to all your kids' stuff. That's a flex. The car you drive, come on. What are you doing? Stop it. You're spending 80% of your income on your car. Knock it off. Kill it.
Yep. Invest into assets, create some cash flow, get some money in, and that's going to be passive.
That's right. And financial freedom. Basically control the rest of the time you have left on this planet. We love you guys. We will see you next week. Thank you for joining us. We'll see ya.
I ran up a check, I might do it again. And the next close, I'm friends. 10 toes down, I'll be free until the end. Crib outside the city, I don't feel safe in my hands. Took so many years, I've been waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, there's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bank